they didn't include this very important scene in the audition, probably because none of the actors would have come in and auditioned. Where there's a dominatrix. Sorry, there's children in here. Damn it. There's a dominatrix, and there's someone on the table. I can't remember if it was a man or a woman. Doesn't matter. But anyway, the dominatrix is giving them the business, and I'm standing in the corner watching, like sweaty, with like leather chaps, like assless chaps.
All chaps are assless.
Yeah,
and so that's redundant, by the way.
Now, for a couple of guys who didn't get the setup to this,
yeah,
there is no setup.
There's no setup. I'm just Somebody asked me what I did last night.
Gil and I are writing a fanfic spontaneously.
Yeah. So anyhow, I did not want my parents to watch that one. But at the time, I needed to make money. The money was good, and I'll never forget. The wardrobe came on a set with two different masks options. And it was like, to the director, what do you think about this one or this one? And I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, well, maybe it's better if I do wear a mask. Then they won't see my face. Director's like, nope, no mask. Anyway, when they ended up shooting it, it was like very kind of, y'all can look it up. I think it's called The Devil Spanks Twice. I think that's the name of the episode, The Devil Spanks Twice. And it's kind of grainy. You can't really see a whole lot, but I'm in there just like watching. That's like my thing. I'm the watcher.
Turns out Gil is not for kids. Turns out Gil is not for kids. Wearing leather, Gil is not for kids. Avert your eyes today.
Thank you, Chicago.
I love y'all.
You feel them. Kim Rhodes and Briana, Buckmaster. One time. 187 cars for kids. Cars for kids. 187 cars for kids.
I don't think they know they're supposed to come out, Rich.
This is on my contract. Just have to say I have to sing them on. That's it.
Maybe try the intro again. You might not have heard it. Ladies and gentlemen,
keep doing this?
Let me tell you something.
What are the odds?
We were backstage going, are we supposed to go on or?
We're back there, we're like, should we go on and stop them? And they're like, no. So we just sat there.
I really feel like this is, until we get a real grounded professional like Rob Benedict here, it's just going to go
Off the rails.
off the rails. I mean, like, we're just...
I can't wait.
I'm sure the audience will tell you we've been doing it all day.
And I, as a Canadian, have no fucking clue what is
like
going on.
DHA. But I will tell you that for all of the sweat the sweat equity we put into this, for all the hours we put into this today, every moment was worth it to see Kim's complete what the F is wrong with you look on her face when she came on stage. Like, that's the content
And I
I'm
do
here
not
for.
have a good poker face. I do not.
You do not, my friend. And And I love you for it, because there was literally, I've worked with Kim as an actor, I've worked with Kim as a director, and I've never seen more confused vitriol than at that moment of her taking the stage. And I've suggested some dumb things to Kim, and this one takes the cake. So you know what? Kudos, boys, it's a win. Ladies and gentlemen,
Well done.
Briana Buckmaster and Kim Rhodes.
Thanks, gentlemen. I forgot a water. Mikey, can you grab me a water from backstage, please? Thank you.
Is there? Hi, baby. Hi.
I am a mom today. My daughter is backstage watching. You would think I'd say watch your mouth, but she knows who her mom is. Thank
Oh my
you.
God, thank you.
You're the best, baby. I love
Bye.
you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Oh, the rowdy ones are on the edges, Kim.
We'll fix that.
Hello.
Wait up.
I want you to know that I took 2 Peptos before I came on stage. Apparently, my guts do not enjoy cashews. So we'll see if I shite my pants before the end of this panel. Okay?
Nobody make her laugh too hard.
Or do. Depends
Don't
what kind
be
of panel you
funny.
want.
Yeah, a nice little comedy enema. Never hurt anyone.
Comedy. It's the name of my autobiography.
Comedy enema. It's gonna be great. Who has not been to a supernatural convention before? Okay, so every like the ones in the back. You can make bunches of noise. If you are just meeting us, we cuss a lot. Fuck yeah, we do. And you can send your therapy bills to our agents.
They will not get paid, but you can just send them there if you want.
Just so you feel like you've done something productive with your trauma. It's gonna be great. All right, and we do have people that want to ask questions, so we don't have to talk about our periods.
I'm gonna talk about my period anyway.
We're probably gonna talk about our
Coming
periods.
any day now.
There will be. Mine isn't. I haven't had a uterus
I always
for
menstruate with the
15
full
years.
moon.
Really?
I'm a witch, yes.
That's hot.
Thank you, thank you. You're welcome.
That's awesome.
You're welcome, everyone. Hello.
Hi, my name is Jen. I have a question for Kim that's kind of a follow-up from almost 5 years ago.
I hope you remember this question, Kim. Otherwise, you're fucked.
I'll give you a hint.
I mean, you're gonna answer it anyway, so that's fine. It's okay.
I can't because I have the poops.
Fuck! All right, okay.
5 years ago, I had just graduated high school, barely, and part of my graduation gift was coming to the Supernatural Convention.
And I gave you bad advice, and you're here to make me pay.
Here's the thing.
That's fucking brilliant.
She just pulls out like a whip.
That's awesome. That's never happened before.
She tears off her sweatshirt and she's like a full superhero villain underneath.
Yeah,
Now you better pay.
I had asked you what it was like knowing that you had raised a generation of essentially children.
My
Growing
babies.
up, watching you on TV from Sweet Life, into Criminal Minds, into Supernatural, you literally grew on the TV with me, raised me essentially when Mom was at work and Dad was at work. And I asked you what that meant to you. And you said you hadn't thought about it. Well,
That was her
5 years
answer?
later.
I don't fucking know. Sit down. That sounds about right. I was having a very bad day.
I thought about that. Thank you. Sit down.
Thank you. Next question. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
Have you ever given any more thought to that? Like,
Say no. Say no.
any thought about it?
Have you seen my TikTok? Oh my God. All right, so here's the thing. All my fucking life, I was mom. I was mom energy when I was 14 years old. Like, I just exude mom energy, and I hated it. Fucking hated it. And I remember being on Sweet Life, and like some fucking important person or something would come through, and the producers would be like, and this is so-and-so, he plays that, this is so-and-so plays codes, this is so-and-so, and this is the mom, and I'm like, I have a fucking name! I didn't say that, I said nice to meet you, but inside I was saying, I have a fucking name! And I hated it. Hated it. felt so powerless. It felt so powerless to be identified by love. And guess what? Now it's everything. So yes, I have thought about it, and I am so fucking grateful for you. Thank you.
I want to tag on to this really quick, because when you said, when I was being identified as a mom, I felt powerless. And I internally was relating to that as in going, I remember feeling like, not as a mom, but maybe as a mom and maybe as just a woman, it wasn't enough. I grew up in a generation where we were sold that you can be anything you want. You can do it all. Remember, we were all told women can do it all. The problem was that the system didn't change in order to support us doing it all. Now we had to have full-time jobs, be amazing mothers, be a fucking size 4, never age, and never poop. And it was just such a load of shit. And now, as you brought up, yeah, it's a real load of shit. The thing I tell myself now, and I tell people that I love, is like, you don't have to do anything. You can just exist and be perfection. You don't have to. Being a mom is enough. Not being a mom is enough. Being a working woman, not being a working woman, not being a woman at all, not being gendered, all of this stuff is enough. We don't have to we don't have to buy the idea that you have to do everything to be respected as a woman in this world. So, good for you. Fuck yeah.
1-800 for kids. That's our panel, everybody. Okay. Hi.
Hi, so I'm asking you the same question that I asked you last year, because what you said changed my life.
Are you all gonna do this?
Last year I said that this was how I was spending my 22nd birthday, so I'm spending my 23rd birthday here, and my question is, what advice would you give to somebody who's turning 23?
Turn 24 in a year. Fuck off, Grace, why you gotta be like this? Advice at 23. Oh,
Well, I think I would, any early 20s would say, don't convince yourself that what happens right now is important. It's not. Fucking fuck up. Do all the things wrong. Make mistakes. Enjoy yourself. Don't think that what happens now means everything in the future. I think when I was in my early 20s, I've always been a very ambitious person, career-wise, and when I was in my 20s, I convinced myself that everything I did was working its way to the next, stepping stone, the next ladder rung. And really it wasn't. They were just experiences, and that I now know is so much more important than climbing any ladder. Reaching the end of your life going, I did that, that was awful, but I did it, that was awesome, that was mediocre, but I still did it. Just experience it all and don't think any of it has to mean anything. Just live your life.
I agree. I think I would rephrase, only because I think that's the proper answer. My answer, 2 parts. The first part is, I can now give myself the grace of realizing that I don't know what I don't know, as opposed to I should know what I don't know. The purpose of life is not to have the answers. It's to get the experience and become the person that I'm supposed to be. So, learning involves not fucking knowing in the first place. The second piece of advice I would give you is always spend money on good tattoos. I mean, I like to make it actionable every once in a while. Something we can all relate to. Yeah.
Hello?
Hi. So I have a question from 8 years ago. Just kidding. I was actually wondering, Kim, if you have made any headway with the spicy chicken nugget.
Oh,
Oh yes, I would like to know this as well.
So I think I realized I was discussing this in my VIP. I think Spicy has a different. Spicy thinks that my feet are the enemy. The feet will always die. Spicy flies to me and pecks my feet. Hates me, die. However, I have a video I haven't posted yet where in my arms we were singing together. So I think he thinks I'm two separate people. The person up here, he is his friend and loves him and he lets me cuddle him. Person down there, die now, you die now.
Maybe he just doesn't like your boots.
But I've worn 3 different boots and I get the same behavior on all 3 of them. He's just a chicken, being a chicken, living his little chicken life. I've tried bribing him with food. I've tried ignoring him. I've tried cuddling him. I have not hurt him. And I will not hang him upside down by his feet. Those of you who advocate hanging him by his feet, no. I don't know if it works or not. It's not worth the pain that it would inflict on me to do that to him. I've tried holding him upside down and rocking him, like on his back. There's 2 different things. And I've tried all sorts of, no, Spicy's just an asshole. Some animals are. Some people are. What can you do?
Did you name him Spicy Nugget?
Sort of.
Okay.
He was originally named Chad.
That's genius.
I named him Chad. That was me. I named
That's
him
a
Chad.
great
To rhyme with Brad from the Useless Farm Chicken. You know Brad? TikTok reference, sorry. So Brad, Useless Farm Brad, and so I named him Chad. But then somebody else was like, just remind him any day now he could be a nugget if he doesn't treat you better. And I was like, yes, but he'd be a spicy chicken nugget. And that's how that happened.
I like
Yes, that's how that happened. So his name is technically Chad, but it's Spicy.
Chad.
Spicy Chad.
Spicy Chad.
Spicy Chad.
That's a stripper name if I ever heard that.
Right? So so there's the problem. My chicken's a stripper. Next question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
So, if you could pick anybody in the Supernatural cast and pick a tattoo to put on them, who would you choose and what would you put on them?
I put a picture of my face on Richard Spade's face. Every time he looked in the mirror, he went, I know who I really am.
That's good. I need a lot of time to answer this question. Oh, you said Supernatural cast, right?
Or it could be anybody.
It could be, because I think it would be really fun. Yeah, this is not what you thought you wanted me to answer. But Borja and I have been talking about a tattoo for him, and because I know his ideas, and because I know the perfect fucking artist to do it, I want to make but I'd be very serious. I want his family reference and his cultural reference, and then work in his children, but images for his children, and then his wife, and make it like a crest, but like a really cool, and have Jarrell do it. So I know none of those things mean anything to you, and you like her answer better, but that's okay. That's the one you're getting from me. Fuck off.
As you can tell, this is the difference between Kim and I with tattoos, where somebody will go, Briana, did you want to get a tattoo of a Smurf drinking beer? And I'd be like, absolutely. I'm like, fucking let's do it. Where Kim's like, you know what, let me think about it, let me chat with people about it, let me do the design myself. Yeah, which Smurf, what kind of beer.
What's their sign?
Yes, exactly. When were they born? What are they wearing? Yeah, Kim's very thoughtful with her tattoos. That's why they're so beautiful. Pieces
Just
of
one
art.
of it. I only have 2. They're just very large.
I know, that's true. I think of your tattoos as like many tattoos, when really it's just one. Anyway, enough about me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you approve of our answers? Okay,
Good.
great.
Hi, honey.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. Oh.
So violent.
I have a question for Kim. And excuse me, I'm very emotional because I love you and I love your work.
You are my people.
Let me cry.
Cry away, baby.
My question for you is, I saw you on Street Life with Cody, with the Stars twins, love that. and then I saw you in Supernatural, I love you. What's, like, the difference? Like, did you have fun, working with Sam and Dean, Jared and Jensen, and, like, the Sprouse twins back in the day? Were they, like, the same in comparison? Like, what were the two? Like,
Okay.
Did you have fun filming both? And, like, were they, like, family based?
So if I understand you correctly, the question is, like, what was the difference between working with Zach and Cody and working with Sam and Dean?
Yeah.
Sam and Dean had motorcycles. No, I will expand on that. That is the short, simple answer, and the long answer is just full of love. I have been so incredibly lucky and taken care of to genuinely not have to manufacture love for the people that I work with that my character is supposed to love, because I have been so blessed with present, talented, capable, generous, loving co-stars, both in Dylan and Cole and in those two tall guys.
Whatever their names are.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
honey.
you for that.
Great job.
No, they've and both sets of brothers, real and not as real, understood the responsibility that came with being the top of a show, and understood that the energy on a set starts with them and trickles down. That creating an environment where everyone is capable of doing their best starts at the top. And that is something that I saw Dylan and Cole understand and evolve into, and I saw that as something that I would say Jared and Jensen really exemplify in terms of creating an environment where everyone knows that they are free to do their best. I've been very
everyone
lucky.
is welcomed in. Like, when I was first on that show, and I've said this a million times, I wasn't even a guest star. I was a principal, what's called a principal actor, where you come in and you have a couple scenes just to move plot along. And they welcomed me in like I was an old friend. Like, for me, I would personally probably find that exhausting. And it was second nature to them. They knew that that show was successful. And I've heard Jensen actually say this, is that you're only as good as all the people below you. And so he would make sure that everybody was feeling welcome, safe, secure, and honored in whatever position that they were doing. And it really showed. 15 years later,
Yep. Well, and this is still.
Yeah, exactly. 7,000 years later.
This is still the energy of the show carrying forward. So yeah. Hello, my love.
Hello. So first off, I just wanted to say thank you for the podcast. It has...
Are you coming tonight?
I am.
Oh, yay!
Who's coming tonight to the podcast? Yeah, you are.
All right, we are. Yeah.
You guys are my favorite.
Make sure you write down yes or no questions. There was some confusion last time where people just wrote questions. We're like, no, it has to be a yes or no question.
For those who don't come to the podcast, explain how we pick.
Yeah, we're now doing our podcast live. And so if you're coming to the podcast, you deserve to have an experience that isn't on the podcast, because you paid some fucking good money to sit down and listen to our ass again. It is different than the Q&A. It is not a panel. So the podcast starts, but it starts with a bunch of yes/no questions. And then we choose one of those questions to become the topic for our podcast.
Basically, you get to ask us anything you want, but we will not elaborate. You can ask us anything you want, but we will only say yes or no. But
I occasionally say, well, but
I will say yes or no. And we've answered some pretty risque questions. But the goal is to have one of those questions end up being the topic for the podcast episode. So while we like to answer funny questions, we like it when people ask us interesting questions that make us go, huh.
Although I was bound and determined, I seriously thought we could get an entire podcast out of, do you think T-Rexes can tie bow ties? I was pretty sure we were going to be able to fucking do that, but I mean, no, somebody thought it might be a little
too logical over here. Okay, honey, yes, hello, back
What's
to
your
you.
question?
With the podcast, it was able to fill in some blanks for me where maybe my parents weren't able to. And I know you get a lot of people who ask you for feedback, so I just wanted to say you guys touch a lot of people and you help a lot of people, and I'm very grateful for that. And my question is, what's your perfect day look like?
Listen, I am lazy as fuck, so it wouldn't involve much, but I do really like hanging out with my daughter. She is such a good time. This morning, so we're staying in a hotel room with 2 beds because, as I like to call her, she is a fucking barnacle. And she will sleep like right on me, and I'm an insomniac, so I sleep. Jose always says I look like I am a, what is it called when you've been captured?
Hostage?
A hostage, yeah. When I go to sleep, because I sleep with a mouth guard, earplugs,
I literally almost,
eye mask,
I just want you to know.
and mouth tape.
And mouth tape. I just want to let you know that hostage was the second word that came to my brain. For some reason, I was going to first say pirate. I am.
Okay.
I don't think Kim is.
We lost her. That is like,
It was just the annoyance in your ow. Like you were so mad that that happened. And your poor fucking teeth.
I just had dental surgery last week.
Your teeth.
Not on that tooth, but you never know
Different
now.
teeth, but still same hole.
That was like the moment where you ran into the window. You got to see that happen.
Oh,
okay.
God.
Oh, God.
What the fuck? All right, your perfect
Anyway,
day.
love
So,
hanging out with
yes.
Valentina, and I love, Valentina loves the snuggle in the morning. So she will always like crawl into my bed. We taught her that when she was young, because inevitably she would wake up so much earlier than us. And so we're like, we like to have a quiet time. So you can come, instead of waking us up in the morning, just come into bed with us and we'll all slowly wake up together. And so now she does that. It's very, very sweet. I love a breakfast. I love a food. Big fan of food. Yeah, food, yeah. God, I don't know. The older I get, the less I like to do. I'm like, I'd like to go to a movie. I'd love to go to a play. I love going to the theater. I love experiences that I don't have to do much. I don't know. These days, I like to just hang out with people I love. Friends, family. This is pretty great, to be honest. I'm sitting, hanging out with Kim.
There was food earlier.
There was food. My daughter's here, so
Jen
I
brought
don't know.
cookies.
I'd say this is one of my favorite days.
So your specific question was, what does your perfect day look like? Which has now already engaged a sense that I have issues with, because my visual processing is fucked. I'm not a visual person at all. So I would like to just tell you something I've learned, which is I loop attachment to an experience. I will be happy when this happens. I've decided this is what will make me happy. And as I've gotten older, one of the incredible superpowers, it feels like a superpower, is that I've started being able to peel away the feeling from the thing I've stuck it to. Thank you. And be like, why? What is that going to make me feel? Well, it's going to make me feel relaxed. It's going to make me feel pampered. It's going to make me feel safe. It's going to make me feel amused. It's going to make me feel educated. Like, these words are now my goal. And I detach the words from the thing, because as long as those words are only attached to that thing, I will only be happy if that thing happens. And guess what? I'm not always going to be the lead on a fucking series on TV. But if the reason I want it is to feel creatively inspired, is to feel appreciated, is to feel that I have something to offer that is needed, to feel expanded, and guess what? I can have that scooping up goat poop. Look, I'm happy. So that has been, so what does a perfect day look like? I don't know. because I don't, what does it feel like? It feels like being able to identify the yes in my heart and see it in my life right now. And I get to have a lot of those fucking perfect days these days. Thank you.
Hi. First, I want to thank you for
Do you have
being
to
your
go?
authentic
No,
You have to pivot without moving. See?
Okay, you're pivoting. You were pooping or pivoting and I couldn't tell what.
Right, same
All
case.
right. Okay.
Hello.
I wasn't doing either.
Now, still time, baby.
Thank you for being your authentic selves. I teach high school special ed, and I'm always telling my students to be authentic. Be who they are, do what you want to do, never hesitate. And I think you guys emanate that to everyone here. And I've been lucky enough, yeah, absolutely, because you do. I've been lucky enough to come for my third time now, and something you guys said last year just kind of stayed with me. I think it was last year. About your tattoos. Briana, you said, you just have your body as a canvas and you let your artist do whatever kind of thing, and I love that. And Kim, you've got 2 major ones, but did you add pieces to that? Are you guys planning on new tattoos? I personally have 13, and I think my autopsy will be very interesting. But each one, whenever that happens, but each one of them means something to me, and people will say, "Oh, what's your new one? What does that mean?" And I tell them, I love that. I'm you have to make everything meaningful, and I think your lives, your podcast, everything you guys have done, again, emanates that, and I thank you for that. So, do you have any new tattoos planned? Did you get anything in the last year?
Since I got my daughter's drawings tattooed on me, she now will present me with things and be like, "Here, this is your next tattoo." And sometimes it's shit. So I am trying to navigate the fact that my daughter literally thinks she has the right to tattoo my body now. She's like, "I can do it." No! So no, I am not planning tattoos because I don't want to enter into negotiations with my daughter about whether or not FUK this is appropriate for my ribcage.
I say do it. I say do it.
I know you do.
I would do that.
I'll have her send you her flash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last time I got tattoos, which was last year, I got 3 at one time. So I have to just settle down a little bit with the tattooage. I also get that way about piercings a little bit. And I will do a tattoo that is meaningful to me, but I'll also do a tattoo when I'm bored. And so I need to find something else to do, because now when I go on set, the makeup artists just are so annoyed because they have to spend half an hour covering these tattoos up. And also my friend Victoria, who's in the back listening to this, recently got the exact tattoo that I was gonna get. And so she said that she's dedicating it to me. Right, Victoria? Yeah, that's right.
I heard her say yes.
That's right.
I heard it.
So yes, no new tattoos, but I do have a file on Pinterest where I'm gonna get these tattoos, and it's locked, so don't go find me on Pinterest. Be like, I'm gonna get this tattoo. Don't steal my tattoo ideas, which I'm already stealing from somebody else. Final answer is no. Thank you.
All right now. Thank
13,
you.
that's a good number.
Hello.
Hi. My question's mostly for Kim. I was just wondering, getting diagnosed with autism, what, has anything changed, or have you started, not acting differently, but kind of acting differently?
Oh, yes. So the I think you're asking about this phenomenon of and I read about it recently. So for those of you who don't know, 2 years ago, I got an official autism ADHD diagnosis, which was hilarious because everybody who's autistic was like, fucking finally. And most of my friends who weren't, were like, "You're not autistic." And then I'd be like, "Okay, in this situation, who's the one that always makes it weird?" And they're like, "Oh God, you are so fucking autistic." Yes, I am. I just have different support needs. And also because one of my superpowers is take this up here and process it out, but putting stuff in goes at a drastically different speed, and you don't see how I suffer. And this is what changed for me. When I got a diagnosis, I got a permission to not suffer on the behalf of society anymore. I no longer have to say, this hurts me, but it makes you comfortable. Therefore, I will continue to behave this way because that's the rules. That's how things are done. That's how we do. And my diagnosis was like, honey, have you heard my fish and monkey story? Have you heard this? Have you heard this? Okay. So it's like, spend my whole life at the bottom of the tree watching my monkey friends climb the tree. And I'm like, I can't climb the tree. It hurts to try. I can't climb the tree. And sometimes monkeys are like, I believe in you. Just try harder. You're such a good thing. Come up the tree. Come on. We'll help you. And then other monkeys are like, you suck. You can't fucking climb. And I'm like just throwing and it just gets harder and harder and harder. And then somebody comes along and says, honey, you're a fish. And so I get to go in the water. And I can still hop out, and I can still hang with monkey friends, and occasionally I can grab their heads and hold it underwater. Say, how the fuck does it feel, huh? I'm making it weird. But giving myself the grace to recognize that my needs are real. They deserve to be met. And then I don't have to, because it is also a phenomenon where people are like, well, now you're super weird and autistic now that you got a diagnosis. Yeah, because I realized how much shit I was doing for your benefit and not mine, and I don't fucking have to do it anymore. So, did that answer your question? Was that what you were curious about?
I think so.
Okay, maybe, I don't know, but there were drowning monkeys in it, so we got it. Go team.
Go team. Hello.
Kim, I would just like to say thank you. I had an absent mother most of my life, and you being a part of Sweet Life gave me that in my life. My question is, what was it like working on the set of Criminal Minds? Did you have a favorite cast member to work with?
Oh my God, they were all so funny. I love them all. All right, so Criminal Minds.
That's where you played the bad person.
I was horrible. Right. They should have dropped a house on that woman. She was awful. Every time we cut, I was like, I'm so sorry, the script made me say that.
What kind of things did you say?
Oh my God, like I disbanded them. I was like, I was the ice power monger bitch. So I can't remember any of my lines, but it was very like, you failed and now you're gone. Boom, just you do this, you're gonna do this, it was fucking awful. And I did ask them, I was like, is this too much? And they said, no, the worse you are, the higher the bar for us to match. So they were really generous. But there was one moment, so Joe Mantegna did a movie many years ago called Things Change. Has anyone seen this? You should all go fucking see it. It's beautiful. It's about a relationship between a mafia guy who's just trying his best and a little old man who's probably gonna die. Spoiler, it's safe to watch, trust me. And it's one of my favorite movies, and it's so beautiful. And I was in the middle of a scene with this man, this incredible man who's on Criminal Minds, and we're walking around the crime scene and blood and like fucking pizza boxes and da-da-da, and he says his line, and I looked at him, and all my brain could give me was, he was in Things Change. And so instead of being the like, well, I don't know if you know how to do your job and I might have to fuck everybody up, I just went, oh God, I'm very sorry. And then we had to do it over again. And so I went up to him afterwards and I said, this is what just happened and my brain did to me. And he was like, oh, you saw that movie? And he proceeded to tell me, so, oh yes, like such a dear, dear, dear human. So that was probably my favorite moment where I just was like, oh, I should be acting right now. I'm not. And he didn't mind at all. Thank you. I know, have you ever had a fangirl moment where you like fangirled inappropriately? I just did that in Basingstoke when I met David.
But I was drunk, so it doesn't count. I did it once in Rome with Sebastian.
Stan.
See? I was a terrible fangirl, but I was drunk and I was with Ricky Whittle, and they had just gone, they had a crazy story. I won't get into it, but you can imagine. And they had just gone somewhere, and we had just finished work, so we met on this bar on the rooftop with, like, you know, Jensen and the boys and whatever. And anyway, I went up to Sebastian Stan, and I think I was just like, I loved you and I, Tanya. And I don't even think, if he heard me, he pretended not to hear me. Which was totally fair. Because Ricky then afterward was like, yeah, that was pretty funny. Because I think you're supposed to be cool. I'm not cool, nor do I really care about... I live in Canada, and we don't have celebrities in Canada. And so I don't really get it. But, and I wasn't, while I really do admire this actor's work, I think he's talented, I do get fangirly over people, or have in the past, but when I see a celebrity, I probably would just not say anything to them. And I think if I worked with a celebrity that I really respected, I think I would do the same. I would do what people do when they have crushes on somebody, is just be like, hey. Like, pretend you don't, you almost hate them. Yeah, so no, I don't think I've had a fangirl moment. I used to, whenever I talk about fandom and just like, I don't understand how anybody likes something so much as the supernatural fandom, somebody will remind me about Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Yeah, you can applaud that.
Oh no, you need this story.
Any millennials out there? Yeah, my mom, when I went home in March, my mom has Alzheimer's, and so every time I'm home, will give me the same file folder of things going, I've saved this for you, you should go through it. And I'm like, I've already gone through it, but let's go through it again. And it's a Lion King file folder that is shoved full. It's this thick, and it's all JTT clippings, including posters that I had on my wall and a song that I wrote about.
There we go. Give it up.
No, I'm not singing it.
Give it up.
No, I've got the poops, Kim.
Well, share. We could all have the Jonathan Taylor Thomas poops.
JTT poops.
JTT poops. Do you remember the lyrics? You don't have to sing it. Just give us the lyrics.
It goes, I never knew how falling in love would feel. I never knew I could have an obsession so real. Could hold it in my hand so tight and call out your name at night. I look at this is the bridge. I look at your picture every day. Your glowing smile just takes my breath away. If God could answer my only prayer, it would be to know that you love and care. 'Cause you're the man of my only dreams. Out of reach, so it seems.
Have another fandom experience. You got all of it. You got it out of the way real fast.
2 years, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, JTT is so cute. So good. He looked like he was 13 until he was 40. I don't know what he's doing now. I once saw a picture of him where he looked exactly the same.
Wouldn't it be funny if he had a
smoking
big
a cigar
file like this thick of you?
Right now? Like
yes,
huge
right now.
Fan?
Huge Supernatural fans.
It's meant to be. It's meant to be.
What the fuck was the question we were answering? I don't remember.
Fangirl moment.
Where did we go?
It was about.
I don't think it was. I think my train of thought switched stations, and all you fuckers came with me. Yes. What did we? What?
We came from this side. We're going here.
Okay, we're going here.
Hi. Super nervous.
I'm doing great.
This is sort of directed mostly towards Kim. I'm a therapist with severe anxiety, so I want to thank you for sharing all of your experiences. But also, we share a love of goats and tattoos and chickens. So I want to know your favorite goat story.
Look, goats are experiences. I actually wrote a children's story about goats. My friend is finishing the illustration. So that's my favorite goat story, is the one I wrote. and not even identified as a goat. Like Brownie's never identified either gender or the physical, and I did that on purpose for all my kids. But so maybe that's my favorite goat story. Maybe Brownie's not a goat. I don't know. It's up to Brownie. Brownie's Brownie. Probably my favorite. It's just my favorite goat. My favorite goat is his name is Slash, but I call him Chaos, and he loves me. He loves me so much. He greets me with a smile, like goats have this little tiny smile, and he looks up at me with such adoration, as if to say, I'm sorry I ruined the fence and tried to impregnate a female goat. I missed you so much I had to. I love him so much. He's such a fucking troublemaker. But the thing I love about goats is how unapologetic they are. Dogs will like make trouble and then they'll be like, ugh, I shouldn't have done that, sorry. Was that your shoe? And goats are just like, yes, I absolutely am where I'm not supposed to be. Yes, I absolutely am eating fiberglass insulation. Yes, I absolutely did dump that entire wheelbarrow of poop over. Now you have to pick it up again. Yes! Yes! That's goats. I fucking love them. I love them. Do not own them. Anybody who's like Sam Smith is like, I'm gonna get some chickens and some goats and some ducks, and I'm like, I'm gonna stop you there.
Why?
They're great to borrow, but I'm not exaggerating. The side of the house
just eat your
has
house.
been stripped and they're starting on the fiberglass insulation. They're not like, oh, put them in a pen and rent them out and they can clear brush. No, they will eat the fencing.
And why do they do that?
Because they're brilliant masterminds of destruction. Because they're goats. It's as goats
It's not
do.
because they're like, this'll taste delicious.
I don't think so. I think they're like, what's this button do? Which is, thank God they don't have opposable thumbs. So yeah, goats are masterminds of destruction, but there's no actual they're like very low-key energy, not low-key energy, very low-key energy. Very like, might destroy everything, let's find out. So yeah, I love my goats. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. But yeah, borrow them before you buy them.
I'm not
Try them
borrowing
out, try them out. They're fucking awful.
Hi, honey.
Okay, you guys are so cool. Okay.
I agree.
So whenever you guys aren't working and like outside of being moms, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do for fun?
Well, I've already clearly indicated mine, so I think Briana should
I don't think
step
I
up.
have hobbies. It's so crazy when, like, I feel when I was younger, we all had hobbies more, and now, I don't know, I feel like all of my hobbies I try to monetize. Like, I feel like my hobbies when I was young was singing. And now, I don't know that I would call singing a hobby. I don't think I would call it a profession. Somewhere in between. Makeup was also a big hobby when I was a kid. I loved farting around with makeup. And now I'm just putting on my makeup for the day, so I don't know that it's a hobby. I don't know that I have any hobbies. I need one. Every time I think I was gonna try to play the ukulele. I taught myself how to play a little bit during the pandemic and then put it down and never picked it up again. We've all done that once or twice, right? Knitting, I was gonna start knitting. But I'm pretty good, like when I find something that I'm like, no, this is good, this works, I like doing this. I just keep doing it. I guess it doesn't become much of a hobby anymore. What's your hobby? Exactly.
It's sitting at home watching Supernatural.
Yeah, mine's sitting at home watching Instagram.
I don't have hobbies so much as I have piles of things I thought would become hobbies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's no, well, and also no, it just, then now there's no more dopamine in it.
Yeah, right.
Like the idea of doing it is fun. I will say I have not yet bought a blowtorch because at some point I'm going to do painting. Welcome to my fucking brain. I can't start painting yet, I don't have a blowtorch.
This is like Jose. For me and Jose, my husband Jose, are very opposite in the way that everything that I discover that I enjoy doing, I'm like, I wonder how I can make this more of a thing. Like even we have a small club called the Joan Club, which is where it's a great a community of people where they can go and unabashedly brag about awesome things that have happened to them without being judged, or they can also go, this terrible thing happened, we call them confidently failing. But that was a thing that we created like 2 years ago, and I'm like, that's great, that's not really a hobby at this point. Jose, on the other hand, he's all hobbies. He's all hobbies, no profession. And that's great because he's a very, very curious person, and he's also very, very smart. I am less curious and less smart. Smart in different ways, we say. But he likes gardening, he takes tarot classes, he does Reiki, now he's in school to be a massage therapist. We call him Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk. So he's like, now I have the magic bean. It's great. Sure, honey. Can I have my massage now? It's great.
Or my cow. Either one. Either one.
Thank you. Thank you, and I'm sorry.
There we go. I know. We don't have exciting hobbies. But also the other thing is, at this point, you would know if we had hobbies. A lot of this shit is like, you'd be aware of it, because I would have talked about it for 82 minutes. Yes?
Hi. This is the first con that I've been to post-COVID, so I want to say I love what you girls did with your hair. Absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. Mine went feral.
She got long, I got short.
My question is, did either of you get tattoos that when you initially went in to get them done were different in your head than what actually came out, but you would love it better than what you had in your head?
My whole fucking arm. When he was like, I just thought I wanted a butterfly, and it turned into this. But when he said, and have your daughter draw a butterfly, I said, no, she's a bad drawer. And it's my favorite. It's my, like her drawings are my favorite because he really captured the energy. Like my daughter does nothing in halves. She draws full out. She moves full, like she is a fucking dragon in this world. Or the reason I got a butterfly is because she's a butterfly living in a caterpillar world. Like she is just balls out. And my tattoos that have her drawings indicate, like you can see just the energy that she's like, I'm gonna make the best fucking butterfly, fucking fucking antennas, fucking blue and color this way, and there's fucking best butterfly ever. And I'm like, you're right, it's the fucking best butterfly ever. I'm gonna have it tattooed on me.
So her, totally. Because most of my tattoos are quite simple. I have one large one on my thigh, but the other ones are quite small. But my tattoo artist in Vancouver is very, very talented at doing teeny, tiny line work. And so I asked for this bumblebee, which is here on my hand. You'll see it at autographs, I suppose. No one's gonna get close enough to me otherwise, so suck it. But what happens is that because from far away it doesn't look like anything, I've had a number of people ask me if I'm left-handed because they think it's like a smudge from writing. And I'm like, no. And they're like, you got a little, and they get closer, and it's actually very detailed little bumblebee. And I kind of love that, at first, sometimes you get tattoos because you want them to be like, adornment for your body. That's what I love about tattoos. But this one is just kind of, I don't know, it's a little eye trickery that I liked, that I never thought it would be when I got. But it looks exactly like I thought it would. But to others, it has a different reaction than I thought, and I love that. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi. So it's really close to you. My first supernatural convention, kind of panicking. But anyways, I was wondering if, you guys didn't get a lot of badass fighting scenes, like just the women involved. And I was wondering if you were given the opportunity to fight like any character in Supernatural, like Lucifer, just like beat the shit out of him. Like who would you guys like have chosen to fight?
I had a pretty good fight scene in one of my episodes, which was called Breakdown. Right, thank you. And we had just finished shooting the pilot for the spinoff, and we had been in fight training for 3 months before we shot that pilot. And pretty substantial fight training. We did jiu-jitsu and gun training and knife training, found objects training, which is kind of like in a scene if you see somebody panicking and looking around and they grab something, there's like a whole training centered around found objects. So that was really fun, and I had an amazing stunt woman named Michelle C. Smith. If you do not follow her on Instagram, you must. She's the one that's like really amazing with the, not batons, staff work. She does crazy stuff with staff. She's unbelievable. She so follow her, you'll love her. And she was my stunt person for that episode and also for the spinoff. And she also helped train me in fight training. Anyway, so she's, stunt people are unbelievable. Because what they do is they come in and they make you look good. I could do stunt work, I trained for it, I did what I could do, and they go, okay, let's do some takes with Michelle. And she comes in and makes it look unbelievable. Makes it look like that is a badass stunt, when really she did it, but it looks like I did it. And so, major shout out to Michelle. But that was really fun. As for other people, like, I don't want to fight anybody with like supernatural, because I feel like it's not a fair fight. Like, I'm like, I got a shotgun, I got a sweet ride, but I can't like make people like disappear into smoke. That's not fair. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because I'm definitely also much more about the style of combat. I love watching. What I love watching and what I love doing are two different things. Because I love watching the baton work. I love the aerial work. I think aerial work is really cool, like being able to flip and go back. But I'm old and I break easily. And that's hard. I think what I would prefer, I really wish that I would have gotten, I love the found object. Because I love the storytelling and fighting, right? Like we had meetings with the stunt corps when we were gonna have a spinoff, we met with the fight choreographer to find each character's style of fighting. And I said, Jody is an old warrior. And here's the thing about a warrior who has survived. A, we know how to fucking conserve energy, because we don't know when we're gonna need it. So there isn't a lot of whip, whip, whap, whap, whoop, whap, 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 whap. It's like, that's a bunch of energy you could have just spent punching somebody in the face. That's fucking stupid. The second thing is, we fight dirty. So I think Jody was a dirty fighter. And I think Jody is the one that would have known there was a pot of boiling water behind her. And like I would have loved to see what Jody turned into a weapon. Because my thinking is, for as loving as her heart is, every single second of her life, she was stopping her brain from killing. Because her brain was damaged. She was fucking traumatized. And if it was up to her, she'd burn it all down. It was her heart that was saying, keep loving, keep moving forward, keep opening up, keep saying yes. So I would have loved to have seen what Jody's fucking, if she let her kill or be killed loose, what she would have turned into a weapon. Like, I think she's somebody that would have ripped the top off a lamp and shoved the electricity into somebody's eye socket. And then made a nice roast chicken for everybody who lived. Thank you for that question.
Thank you. And welcome to the shit show.
Yay!
Hello.
Hello!
Hi, I was wondering, what was it like working with Karen Hampton on Supernatural?
It was awful. Oh, I'm so glad it's over. No, I'm just kidding.
She's being sarcastic. They are really, like we spoke earlier, just generous captains. They are big brothers and leaders and just people that create an environment where it's safe to flourish, but it's also safe to make a mistake. I felt so protected and cared for, and they were really, really amazing guys. Hello, welcome. We're talking about Jared and Jensen and what it's like working with them.
Oh, we thought you were talking about us.
No, Steven.
We just heard amazing
It's
guys.
true. Amazing guys
And we just
who make
assumed.
every room they're in better.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
you.
that's us.
You have anything you want to add to
They were
to
great.
work with those
Jared likes to hold until he can see how high he can kick.
Yes, we have held a couple times while Jared was kicking
while
things.
he kicks the air. And Jensen is just mad that he's not as funny as me.
Hey, see? You make every room better. Yay! Thank you. Hi.
So
Are we?
listen, before you guys go, now before we play you off, so you know that we've been giving back to folks who purchased. See, we got in your head, didn't we?
Okay.
So we've been giving gifts and prizes to people as part of the Give Back tour of the convention. So we have a winner of a new gift, and the gift is it's basically a
Is it a
Kim and
card
Bree
they can
package. The person who has submitted and won this, by the way, I have their information. They're going to come up right now.
Rich,
but what
is the gift a car that they can donate?
No, Steven, it's not.
He just said it's a Briana and Kim package.
It's like a Kim Bree fun package. They get to be a part of your podcast.
We're
They
a
get to
fun package.
They get to sit in on your podcast and listen to your podcast. They get autographs from you guys, and they get their photograph with you guys.
Okay, I was like, what part of me as creation decided it's okay to give away without telling me?
I gotta tell you, this is the second time in about an hour and a half that I've gotten those steely glare from Kim, and I'm about to submit, and I don't know what I'm submitting to or apologizing
But
for.
you're a good boy,
but
Rich.
I'm
You're a
gonna
good boy.
I'm going to first say, I'm sorry, and then what can I do to rectify this situation? No, they will be a visitor at your podcast. They will be getting your autograph and your photograph, and it's awesome. So now,
Let's find out who it is.
without further ado.
Oh, wait, hold on. I have a question. If
Okay.
it is someone who has already purchased a gift or purchased a ticket to the podcast, is this transferable to a friend?
Yes, they're able to give it to any of their friends.
Okay,
and
just
or
so
family.
you know. I'm like, because that would suck. If you like us enough to want to be at our podcast, you probably already have a ticket to our
Right.
podcast.
So any of this stuff, like if they have a photo, they can give this photo to a
What
friend.
if this person does not like us at all?
Who doesn't? Oh, yeah.
The winner.
They can
So
give it to
like,
someone who do. They can give it to someone who
It'll
does.
be really awkward.
Anybody?
No. If you don't like them and you win, you have to go. Sorry. You know what? This will teach you a lesson. It's like you have a cigarette, now you're smoking the whole pack. Okay. The Awinda. The Awinda?
The window is
wrong with you today?
I flew the red eye here, and Daddy's a little tired.
Copy that. Copy.
He's a little pooped.
Got it.
And I frightened him, Brianna. I frightened him twice.
Twice! And I'm telling you, I've been in very high pressure situations with you that were a fuckload easier than this. We've done very intricate things together, you and I, and it went
Get your
great.
minds out of the gutter,
But bringing you
everyone.
onto set, bringing you onto stage, I'm about to collapse in a pool of my own wet. Here we go. So the winner is the winner is.
Come on, Richard.
Amanda D, whose handle is Weird LTZ or Weird ITZ on Twitter. Is that person here? Amanda D.
Yay!
All right, get up here, Amanda D. Come on up, Amanda D.
Hello! Yay!
Get on up here.
Did you already have tickets? Did you already have tickets for the podcast?
Great, now you can bring a friend.
Okay, that's what I thought. So you're gonna get to bring somebody else or scalp it. You can sell it. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
judge.
You know what they say, you can bring a friend or a drummer. You know what I mean? It's your call. Well, come on up here. Come on up. Yeah, sorry, Friday day. Amanda D just won. Come on up here. All right, the winner of the Kim and Briana Fun Pack. There she is, Amanda D. AD as they call her. So here you go. You get the podcast, you get the autographs, and you get, of course, tomorrow, a photograph. There you go. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. We've just given back. Listen, these two people on stage are two of my favorite people.
Thank you, Rich.
You're a robot.
I was going to say the same thing.
I know you are, but he beat you to it. And he's a robot. Not only are they wonderful actors and incredibly scary when they want to be,
Oh, thanks, Rich.
but great singers who are going to be on this stage Saturday night, tomorrow night, as part of Saturday Night Special. So you're going to want to come see these ladies rock the carpet right off this faux stage. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, Briana, Buckmaster, and Kim Rhodes. for us.
That's
We
great.
appreciate it.
That's beautiful.
And I'm just
Soggy.
amazed
I
that
love
A,
it.
Rob made the band and he's Mater. Somehow Rob's a character from Cars. And Jason's playing the fiddle. It's awesome. So there you go.
In a tutu.
The tutu didn't surprise me. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for our time on the stage today. We are done being on the stage. However, I hear a rumor that there's actually merch in the merch room that is Loud and Swain music that, and here's our gift to you, does not have this song on it. So any of the Loud and Swain albums you buy today, I promise you, will not contain this track. So if you want to hear something other than what you've heard today, which I find hard to believe, but if that's the case, get yourself some Loud and Swain merchandise in the merch room right after this. In the meantime, there are autographs coming up, probably some photographs, probably some pie graphs. Whatever kind of graphs are happening, be a part of it. Get yourself a little hydration, and then get your booty back in here for karaoke tonight. Meanwhile, the band, they're done, right? They're done. I'm going to do see you at autographs. I'll see some of you at my pizza dinner.